Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. And welcome to the Summer of Love. I'm Bankole, and today we're getting into season 5 premiere of Apple TV's For All Mankind. And joining me once again, guys, trust me, you don't want to know what they're trading for Tootsie Rolls these days. It's Angel and Pete. How you guys doing?
You know, you took my Tootsie Roll reference. I was gonna say that I had just traded some Tootsie Rolls for a Shiv, so I was feeling pretty good. But you kind of stepped on that one a little bit.
How often that happens between you and I? It's like whenever I'm on your lives, you take my intro and then vice versa.
It's funny.
Angel, how you doing?
I'm good. Very interesting to see that Tootsie Rolls are holding currency, not ramen. So,
what?
Yeah.
Maybe she's old.
I'm thinking maybe it's the time before the ramen took over. We're still in the early years. Maybe they haven't clocked in yet. So what's some boiling water can do?
I would like someone to draw a line between Russia landing on the moon first to the effect of ramen in the prison economy. How you guys doing? Ready for this new season of For All Mankind?
Yeah. Excited.
Definitely. Speaking of For All Mankind space show, actually, let me just say this now because I'm very excited about it. I'm about to go watch Project Hail Mary immediately after this recording. I've been waiting months, so I'm excited. Pete, did you see it? Because I know you said, did you see it?
Yeah, we saw it. My wife and I went the night before last. Was that last night? Yeah, we saw it.
What's this time?
Yeah, honestly.
Angel, any plans on seeing it?
I do have plans to see it, probably next week. I was thinking tomorrow, but I think I need a break. I've been on a back-to-back streak watching for the last couple of weeks. So,
what did you see?
I saw Hoppers. I saw Goats. I saw No Other Choice again. Yeah.
No, see, okay, I'm sorry. Like, do you want your letterboxd card? I saw No Other Choice again. I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
And I have, I didn't even log the third time because I was like,
okay, I'm sorry.
They don't need to know.
Okay, maybe we'll share our thoughts on Project Hail Mary next week.
Yeah.
And then maybe Pete, if you're back next week or whenever you're back. I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this and you watch For All Mankind, go watch Project Hail Mary. Like, it's space shit. And honestly, it might be space shit that we're not going to get this season of For All Mankind. Let's get into this episode.
No, honestly.
Quickly, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Also, please go back to Pete's channel and like and subscribe as well. Pete Peppers on YouTube. If you're listening on any audio platform or even watching on Spotify, please review and rate on the platform. And then if you like it, just go on YouTube and like. You don't want to watch on YouTube, just like it there.
I'm screaming. Okay. Give us those likes.
Just give us the likes. Okay, so For All Mankind Season 5, Episode 1. It is titled First Light. It is written by co-creators Matt Warpert and Ben Nedvedi, and it is directed by Sarah Boyd. Okay, I want to just kind of start with like general thoughts. Earlier this week, we had our preview into the episode and into the season and what we're kind of like hoping the season will be and what it could recapture in terms of our love for the show. So I guess I want to start. Pete, let me start with you. New episode, new season, what are your general thoughts?
I thought it was fine. I wasn't super pumped, but at the same time, it's the way that it's what I expected. It seems like the premieres, they have a lot of table setting to do because of the time jumps, so they're not usually the most exciting installments. But yeah, we'll get into it, I guess, in a bit. I ended up focusing in a lot more on the, kind of like from watching this for multiple seasons now and covering it, one of the things I do is a breakdown for the timeline skip. So I was thinking a lot about that. But as far as the actual episode proper, it was, like I said, what I expected. It was show us where everyone's at and set the stage, but not a lot happened. It didn't seem like.
Yeah. Angel?
I would have to agree. I feel like I have a lot of notes on this episode as to, what each person is doing. They definitely left us off with, something meaty to chew as to what the season might be about and focusing on partially towards the end. But yeah, it was just like here's everyone. Here's where we're at. None crazy.
Yeah. Fine is the perfect adjective. Actually, it was just fine. I should have gone back to check because in my memory, every season premiere does have quote unquote space shit, which is, but maybe I'm wrong. Obviously, the series premiere doesn't have it, but I know last season had it. But in my head, every season kind of has a big space set piece in the premiere, but maybe I'm wrong. I'll go check that.
I mean, they kind of mentioned something about the future. Well, not mentioned, just a quick note on what Dev's looking towards, like landing on Jupiter, but like there was no real focus on
the moons of
anything outside of Mars,
Yeah. So my big takeaway, my big general thoughts was just like there was no real like we went in from the preview saying we wanted to get that all back, and obviously 9 episodes left. We're hopeful that we will get it, but like this episode didn't really
episode
have
1X.
Yeah, episode 1X.
It was kind of like the big visual thing here was Korolev crater, and it was Kelly there being like disheartened because she's not finding anything there.
Yeah. I mean, even Alex's joyride, which we'll talk about in a second, it did have, I mean, just I guess anytime you're out in the atmosphere, right, it did have that kind of landscapey kind of shots that we're used to for mankind. However, I do have in my notes that there's no space shit, but if the season is going to be a murder mystery, then maybe there's an acceptable alternative. Maybe. But like, it does go into what I think Pete was saying in the preview, where it's like, is the show... This premiere felt very much like a premiere of a normal show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is that what you want? And look, again, if that's what we want to be, then that's fine. We'll just have to adjust what our expectations are. Yeah, because again, it's a good premiere for a normal show. It's like a good premiere of like everything felt really normal. I know that's the point. They're trying to say like life has become normal on Mars, but I think when we're used to people just catching footballs in the atmosphere.
Literally.
And like, so I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens.
It's so funny you say that, because when the episode kind of started, like got into its swing, and they showed this, graffiti warrior, right? And they are running. Well, to be fair, if you listen to this, you've watched the episode, and she's running, and she takes off her hood, and I'm like, oh, it's just a girl. not any. I'm just like, I was like, oh, she's our normal of this season.
Yeah,
this is our Joe.
I was just thinking back in my head. It was in season 2 in the premiere. We had the sun coming up from the moon, and then Molly Cobb running through the radiation.
Oh,
that was the premiere?
I'm pretty sure in season 2, yeah. And then season 3 was Danny on the space hotel. So yeah. And then that was one of the things when I went back and watched last season, I forgot whenever Korolev actually touches the crater and the episode 3 premiere, like that was the kind of thing I was looking for here. Was a big moment like that. But
so yeah, this is probably the first premiere since the series premiere not to have like some kind of set piece in it.
Yeah.
And like said, hopefully that's not like an indication of what the show is going to become.
Yeah, if we have 2 more seasons at least, like I need us to get back to the spaceship.
Hopefully you're not just going to become like Suits on Mars or
you
still need to do some.
I don't care about that.
I think you hit the nail on the head, though. I think that it's a bit of the point, and I thought the same thing. It feels smaller, but also that's the way that life feels for our main characters who are living on Mars. I mean, they live in habitats. That's one of the things in the opening shots, when they sort of went from the windows from one place from Miles and his wife and off to Ed, you realize like they're living pretty good there, those people. And that's what they're like, living in like studio size pods, basically.
They have cell phones, they have the press. Okay, before we go to the actual episode, let's talk on some of those alternative history changes that we've kind of alluded to already. Pete, do you want to kind of mention some of the ones that like caught your attention?
I mean, there was a lot of stuff that's important for the show and the way that things developed. There was a couple of things here, like on a personal level. I think one of the ones I thought about, well, for one thing, it's good to know that Breaking Bad exists in this universe.
Yes.
I was really happy to see the.
Can I just say, because I just obviously I raised my hand in jubilation for that, but like it was a bit depressing to realize that like the show has caught up to Breaking Bad. I was like, oh my god, like Breaking Bad
we're here now.
Yeah, Breaking Bad is not that long ago. Like we're in the present day. Like, so but anyway.
And that's one of the things that I was thinking about a lot after our last conversation, and while I was doing this, when it gets into the timeline that you remember, that's still somewhat fresh in your memory, it's a little bit trickier. One of the things that I noticed, like on a personal level, that resonated was that the Hurricane Katrina didn't happen in 2005, just because when that happened, that was a few years after the 9/11 and the Iraq War, and it was another instance where it was just like the way that the response to that played out was just I mean, as for me as an American or whatever, it was just sort of like, man, if the government can't even take care of these people in this like this disaster, and it becomes this political football and everything else, like what do they actually do? You know what I mean? Because we know that they just lied us into this massive war, and all of that came after that, you know what I mean? Like, so there, but that was like, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, don't want to put too fine a point on it, but like that was a thing where I just felt really disenfranchised with,
a continued disillusionment.
And so that's kind of a good change, I guess, that didn't happen here. One of the other things, I guess, on the, like I said, I liked the nod to Breaking Bad and the idea of there being blockbusters popping up on the moon.
Did you see the byline?
Yeah, they tease, or there's something about teasing blockbuster original content.
Yeah, so
I'm guessing that means that Netflix didn't rise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Which is kind of a shot from an Apple TV show, but
yeah. But that was another one that jumped out at me. And
Ted Kennedy was president.
Yeah,
Did we already know that?
He was in the earlier seasons. That was the thing that happened.
Yeah, and then JFK Jr. is still alive in 20. So speaking of TV and love story, I have a few. So speaking of pop culture again, John Lennon and Jay-Z.
You mentioned
that was
Kennedy.
my one.
What was that?
No, the John Lennon and Jay-Z Grey album.
Yeah, that was my. I was like, wait.
That would be kind of crazy. But I was just wanted to say before that you mentioned Ted Kennedy. It also revealed that JFK Jr. didn't die in this timeline. He's still in the mix for the upcoming
presidency.
Election.
Yeah. Okay. Somehow nobody has mentioned what I think is one of the most important things, and I took it as my victory lap. It was my vindication, and that was that Sam went to jail.
Oh,
and Ed was found guilty.
Yeah, those are like the first two things I wrote down. I was like, okay, but how are you gonna handle this?
Yeah,
This is
so yeah, and it's really kind of terrible for Sam when you think about it, because you,
Terrible
100%.
for
if you also
Sam.
read the papers, you see that on his way out, Gore pardoned all the people like Miles and everybody that were in the riot on
Mhm.
Happy Valley.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like Samantha is like the only person who went to prison
Who's suffering
for
for this?
it.
Yeah.
Well, her and Ed. Obviously, Ed is
Can
Well,
not in
you
Ed's
prison,
recall
just
but
Ed
like,
Ed's just like we
yeah,
saw
suffering?
what Ed's prison looks like. That's just
yeah.
he's living
So I
exactly the
guess,
same as he did. He just can't go into that room anymore.
so I guess Gore
Literally.
pardoned the people that were involved in the protest, but not the people that were involved in the hijacking.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Sam and Ed are
Yeah,
the ones that
because
went down for the hijacking.
well, Dev isn't in trouble.
I don't think
neither
I
is
think Sam and
Miles.
Ed are the only ones who were like fingered as being involved. I
Yeah,
think.
well,
In the Ghost
yeah,
Protocol, didn't they catch Miles and all the other people as well?
I don't. Maybe it didn't get to them to Earth that those people were involved as well. Like
I
Sam, obviously, she like
Yeah.
you can't hide it. She
yeah,
went
she
out
was
And
instead.
there.
Ed,
Yeah, and
yeah,
She
and
Ed
Ed
physically did
made
it
himself like
and
the
in front of the
Ed
world.
spoke directly to Danny about it. So I think
Yeah, he was
everyone
trying
else could
to
kind
do
of be
legacy.
hidden under the rug except those two. Maybe I'm wrong because again, I thought it was interesting that we don't really see Dev this episode. Like Dev
Yeah,
is
because
like a
I mean,
Yeah.
specter.
North Korea was kicked out of the M7
MC,
because
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
But then it
Um,
also said that Lee Jung-gil and the other people there defected,
defected.
and it said there was something about the CIA torturing people on Mars. It
Yeah.
doesn't mention Miles there, but it also, in that same sequence, is when it said that Gore pardoned all the people who were involved with the riot. So that
Yeah.
politically, that probably made sense for him to keep the
To
other stuff
do.
under the rug. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if they tried to try Miles, then Miles would be able to say, "Hey, they tied me up and tortured me. Like they
Yeah.
raised the CO2 level in the room to like I was."
They
You
tried
know
to
what I
kill
mean?
him.
Yeah.
And Eli took the fall. Like they said, he's the
Yeah.
disgraced former head of
Mhm.
NASA. So everything was kind of pinned on him.
And of
One
course, the
final
traitor,
thing.
Margo.
One final thing regarding the alternate history. So, as we mentioned, North Korea was ejected from the M7, became the M6, but then some countries created the independent spacefaring nation. Oh, by the way, guys, sorry, if you're listening to this and you don't know, Apple TV releases like some short clips that explain all these little alternate history changes that should be on your Apple TV, like for Mankind page. So yeah, so they're independent spacefaring nation. So basically some countries are like, hey, only the M6 stroke M7 are gaining from the iridium. We kind of want to fight back.
about
We want to kind
us?
of claim, our own benefits. And that so it includes countries like Brazil, India, I think.
Yeah, India.
India, China. There is one country in it. And I'm not here to like insult my country on the internet, but Nigeria is involved in the ISM. And I'm just like,
Nigeria?
no, we're not. No, we're not. We're not
I would
involved
love to
in the
actually see that
ISM.
timeline. Like, how would that have affected us, actually?
I
For
was
us
like,
to be involved. Yeah.
I was like, Nigeria doesn't have a space program to be involved in this. This is not
Do we
our.
have an Earth
Is it-
program?
do we have an Earth program? I was like, I saw it and I was like, are you sure? Are you
That would
sure
have
Nigeria is
made me
here?
cackle.
Anyway, I just like, anyway, okay, let's get into the actual episode. I want to start with Earth. Unless there's anything else in the alternate history that you guys want to touch on.
Flash mobs are a thing still.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking a lot about those kind of things recently. Some of the things I've been listening to and watching, and just remembering how good pre-2016 was. And I'm just like, I wish the internet was like we were insulting them back then, but we used to watch every video,
Of course.
like flash mobs, ice bucket challenges, the one where people would freeze. Like
Oh,
that's when internet.
yeah.
That's when internet
The
was
Black
nice
Beetle
and
challenge.
fun. Not now. Now it's just like Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah.
It's just now everything is just so angry and hateful. Like I just miss those days
It's
of like
bleak.
flash mobs and Gangnam Style. Just like we actually did
Uh,
not know how good the internet was back
can
then.
we even still flash mob today? I'm sure people still do somewhere, but like
But like
definitely
it
we
doesn't
don't
get
have the scale
traction.
to have this joy anymore.
Yeah, we don't
Like
have the joy anymore. Anyway, okay. So let's start with Earth. And then we'll go to Mars. I'll just kind of like run through the plot and then we can talk about what we have going on. Really, Earth is just two people that on Earth. Um
that we
Margot
care about.
is an episode of Orange is the New Black. Um and Aleida is an episode of The Good Wife. Damages. I'm not really sure
Don't
like
kill
what
me.
show Billions. I'm not sure what show she's in yet.
Honestly, I think maybe the good wife. Like
The
honestly,
Good
she's
Wife,
she's
yeah.
she's in a mix of a lot of bull.
Yeah, but she's rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Aleida is having some family drama when she's hit with the news that I thought was it's just incredible delivery from Coral Penny. I was just like, Girlfriend," like she just like she
No,
don't know
she's like,
she don't know her daughter was in a relationship. She's just
talk
like
less of a girl.
so detached. Um, and then it leads to what I think, in my opinion, is by far and away the best episode of the episode, best scene of the episode, and that's the scene between Aleida and Margot in prison. I I don't want to harp on this or whatever, but like it's just when you just have these two characters who we've known for the entire run, and where there's so much history here, like I hope the show can replicate it with people like Dev and things like Miles, not Dev, Miles, but like it's just like it's just easy to love these characters. And when these two characters are sharing a room and sharing a space, and this conversation is just like shows you why you love TV as opposed to trying to get involved with like the other new characters that this season or last season, which we'll talk about in a second.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think this Margot and Aleida just had the richness of 40 years, 30 years of history.
Yeah, I was just thinking, how long has it
Um,
been?
yeah, and then
I
Aleida,
mean, she
they're
met
two.
Wasn't when she was a teenager,
Yeah.
like
Wasn't
maybe
she
12
younger
years
than that?
old. No,
Yeah, I think.
she was a bit older, I guess, because she was dating and stuff already. But she was very
No,
young
but
in the
should I met
first
Aleida?
season.
Did she meet Aleida in season one? We had that.
Well, we met Aleida
That's
when she was a
technically,
child. Yeah, but when she was
yeah.
Yeah.
crossing
When she
into the
actually met
U.S.
Margot.
Oh, okay. So Margot met her in season two, not season one. Okay. I don't know why I thought
I mean,
Margot
that
would have met
stuff's
her in
all
season
blurred
one.
together for me. But
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah, same.
sure.
Yeah, same. But anyway, yeah, it's just like there's just decades of history there, and um,
And I'd
I
like to
pinpointed.
mention they
Uh-huh.
started their montage with Beyonce for Margot and
Okay.
Alida, which I just have to note on. And I was like, yes, those are my girls. Let's
So
get
where does
into
that
this.
fall on your list of needle drops? Is that higher than X gonna give it to you? Is that
Oh no, it's not higher, but it's
it's
definitely
like,
is definitely maybe number 2 or 3 because I wasn't
okay?
expecting that at all. I was like, what's
Yeah,
Beyonce doing here? Not what's Beyonce
yeah.
doing here, but like, yeah, of course
I
Beyonce's
had
here,
to
but
look it
like,
up. Okay, yeah. It's just make sure what year the song came out. Again, I can't remember that song came out
yes,
2007. That's kind
it's
of
been a
crazy. That's
while.
a bit scary. That's scary that song 2007. I don't like that at
In my
all.
mind, it's like
Um,
2016, and I'm like,
yeah,
wait.
yeah. So there are two lines of dialogue, two instances in this conversation that I had to note down because they're just beautiful. Is when, first of all, I thought it was interesting. Aleida is, it's rare, I think, to see a character say they're not happy. Like
Mm.
usually it's other characters like, are you happy? And then they go like the prestige TV thing where they think of and the scene changes or whatever. But like Aleida is self-aware to be like, yeah, I'm doing all this stuff. I don't think I'm happy.
Yeah.
And like,
She's
and
just like a
I thought that was like an
nerd.
interesting,
Sh-
yeah, that was an interesting
Like,
admission.
She's really an interesting character. Like, I mean, she's never been the central character really in any
She's
real
been central in my
capacity,
heart, but sure.
but yeah, they've done a lot of interesting things with her on the side, I think.
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think,
She's always had impact. She's been like a force multiplier, like maybe not the central character, but maybe assisting. Usually Margot,
Mhm.
but she's always kind of been there. And like it's interesting you say that she's not happy because like even when she was talking to her daughter about like I had to tell like, yes, when I was your age, you didn't even have a car. You were cleaning. Yeah, like I get it. You've gone from grass to grace. You're
Mm-hmm.
being lauded for your brilliance. You're running this company. And she's like, honestly, I don't know if this is like how I'm being at the end. I mean, like, okay, like I'm here, but like I don't know if this is what Alida wanted when she first started getting into the, using her genius for the space program. Like, I think she was just happy being a flight director. That was like top
Mm-hmm.
tier goal. And then now it's all these politics and, all these things. Now she's running a company
Stuck.
that's with Dev, who she wants to strangle every 2 seconds. So she's like, she's actually stuck, like you say, like, obviously her family life isn't giving what family life she thought it would be giving, and her bestie is in jail. So it's like
Eh,
all around, like it's not looking up for her. She's getting older. Like I
How
don't
do
know
we
what
think
she wants
Alida is?
actually.
Like 40s?
No, maybe 50s now.
I would have said 60s, early
Like
60s.
Alida?
like the fact that
Yeah.
her hair is graying, yeah, she's definitely like
If
50s
she's 60s,
for
then
sure.
no, then Margo is what? Nine? No, she can't be
Margo's
60s
like
already.
Margo was Ed like 90,
80s?
80s, 80
I
something.
do see.
Margo's like
You know
I
what?
don't
Let's
know
70.
if
not do
this is
this.
something we can look
Yeah,
up,
let's
but
not do this. Let's not go down this rabbit hole because even with Alex alone, I was like, this doesn't seem, but I was just gonna allow it. So my lady says this thing about like you have this idea of what you think you want and then you get it, and Margo interjects, it almost kills you. And this is again to show you who I am. I started thinking about another season premiere that happened this year, and Eric's this industry, but Eric's conversation to
Mm,
Harper, where he's like, heaven on earth, and like you spend your whole life chasing all this stuff, and then it's kind of interesting because he goes on a dot as well, and then Harper interjects with like, all you have is money. But then Margot here interjects with like the more human and the more like emotional retort, which is like, it almost kills you, right? But then she also goes on, like you just said, she goes on to say like, hey, you think like you're struggling to balance all these things, but you do have something to balance, right? Or rather, you have things to balance. You have
yeah, at least
yeah.
you have
a
something to
husband.
balance.
Yeah, you have a
Yeah.
husband that you love and that loves you. You have children, you have work, all that stuff. And um, yeah, and then when Margaret pauses and then later is like, I'm still here. It's just like, that's it. That's what you get for investing
40
40
years.
years and
Yeah.
3 seasons into a character. It's like we can't just, so I don't know. I
A
really love that scene.
defection, a
Double
traitor,
defection. Yeah.
double,
It's
I don't
like,
even know what to call it at this point. Like,
but yeah,
Yeah,
any thoughts on like Earth you guys had?
just real quick, Aleida was born in 1961.
Oh, it's said in the show.
Yeah, so
yeah, they say
61. So
she's
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 late
50,
40s, early
51 years old.
50s. Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Margot's in her
Yeah.
60s.
But to go back to what you were saying, like who since this is a premiere and we're
Mhm.
this is our first time all talking together about this, who is your favorite character from the originals that's still around? I mean, for me it's Margo, I think, and I'm just wondering where everyone else is at on that.
That's still around. Maybe Danny, even though I don't know if I can say she's still around.
Well, I mean,
Love me.
I guess there's no,
She's not dead, so
yeah,
she's still
there's no
around.
clear sign that she's not. Okay, but
Yeah.
out of who we saw this episode, who would you
Out
say?
of who we saw, it would have to be Margot. It's definitely not fucking Ed. Love. Like, no.
Oh god, Ed Bolden. For me, it's always been Aleda,
Mm,
and I think obviously like yeah, like Aleda, but I think also just the fact that we saw her kind of like the struggle she went through, and like we
saw her
grew up
grow.
with her.
Yeah.
Every other character we saw them not at their peak, but like as fully formed people. Like Margot was already working at NASA. Like I think Aleda
Yeah.
seeing kind of like all the struggles she went through. But
Yeah,
like it's Aleda and Margot talk to for
Yeah.
sure.
I think that's why it's also Margot for me. It's like seeing her struggle as well. Like Margot didn't
yeah.
just become Margot. Like she had to fight to even become flight director, and then, defects, and then double defects to become that
Yeah,
important.
I saw
Yeah.
an edit. I think it's from a TikTok user named Jules. I saw an edit between Margot and Sergey, and I was just like, oh my god, I forgot so many things that happened between these two characters.
They were in
Mhm.
love.
Like I forgot how much like it
Margo had
loved
never
the way.
tasted love before. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
that's why I was asking about favorites because, like, for me, this was, like I said, it was kind of a fine episode, you know what I mean? But this sequence here, I mean, there was just so much that it brought up about the
Mhm.
character Margot that, um, is it's pretty much the reason why I'll keep coming back. And I would agree with you on, like I said, I've always liked Aleida, and I just, like I said, I think it's just a little subtler, like it's a bit more subtle, like last season, she just sort of walked out of work and just stayed home for months and was like fixing TVs
Forgot
in the
about
middle of the
that.
night and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
never made a big deal about it because it was just a thing that it was just her way of going through what happened. But yeah, I think that all makes sense for her to sit there and tell her mentor, who last season she thought was dead and then she hated for being a traitor and not
Yeah.
doing like giving away the secrets. I mean, there's so much stuff between them. And so yeah, I think it makes sense for her to sit there and say that I got everything I wanted and it didn't make me happy. And
Mhm.
like the reason I think you don't see that happen more often in TV is because you wouldn't buy it from a lot of characters if they said that, or it would sound hollow, you
Mhm.
know? But with
Mhm.
her, I think it makes perfect sense. And obviously, Margot can relate to her in that situation.
Yeah. Um. Before we leave this Earth thing, just quickly, is Alina a bad boss? Because her assistant, she was just like throwing her bags and everything at him. She was like, like,
I feel like what was I watching or talking about or imagining? And someone's talking about how like, oh, they just walk in, the bus just walks in, and just like shit, 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 and then somebody scuttling behind them, picking up the stuff as it's falling, and
the
that's what that reminded me of when Alida and her assistant. Honestly, no,
no. Okay.
no, no. I
I, I
think,
d- that wasn't my takeaway from that. I mean, I think that we're
yeah,
supposed to see that she's a CEO for one thing, like
Mhm.
that. That's a different position than she was in before,
yeah,
Mhm.
and that I feel like with the whole situation with Dev sort of announcing this thing, this new city plan or whatever, it shows that
Yeah.
she's in a pretty awful situation. Like
yeah,
she's always been able to handle whatever comes up, but that's not like dealing with, like, she's a scientist, you know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
not
She
yeah,
wants to do the math.
exactly,
dealing with
Mhm.
Dev
exactly.
and this
His
kind of,
politics is not her
yeah.
Stakeholders
business.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and stock prices. Yeah, no,
This
I
is
agree
all
with you.
very difficult for her. She would rather be somewhere else, but she's doing
Yeah.
this.
Okay. Let's go
Think
somewhere else. Let's go to
one more thing
Mars.
before we leave Earth, they do tell
Oh,
us Ellen is
that was
still
a great
alive.
segue. Oh,
I'm
did
so
you?
sorry. You did ask.
Sorry.
You did
Go
ask.
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
waited
Go ahead.
patiently. Ellen is alive and she's an
Oh
author.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there in the verse.
Well,
So
I mean,
we might see
every
her.
ex-president has to write a book.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind of like
true. But
yes.
I'm hoping the fact that we're seeing her book means we might see her.
We're
Um
not seeing any of it again.
What was
We're
the
not seeing any
title? It
again.
was
Everyone's talking.
no.
Angel, look, we didn't see Ellen throughout the whole of last season. I've made my peace with it. Like, if we saw Ellen, she would probably be my favorite character. She was probably the one when she was still here. She was my favorite of the
I love
original
me some Ellen.
cast.
Yeah, I did like her as well. Gordo and Tracy. I thought that there was a definite trying to give some Tracy vibes with the new peacekeeper.
Oh
Oh,
God.
interesting. I didn't catch that. That's interesting. Let's talk about that. I mean, speaking of Gordo, I did not like. I was
It's been
getting
called a
strong. Like,
Gordo.
yes, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
look how they destroyed my boy. I was like,
Yeah. I was
do
like,
not,
what an insult.
do not destroy the memory of Gordo Stevens. We know what he did. Don't just call it a random like
Call
what
it a Gordo. Pull
a
a
Gordo.
Gordo.
Like, God damn.
Uh,
Make you sound like a
okay,
lunatic.
So on Mars, we start the episode by getting our first look of the Mars peacekeepers, basically Martian cops. There's an underground free Mars movement brewing. But it's also high school graduation day, which is apparently a thing
So
this show
cute.
does now.
I was like, of course
Um,
they'd have a school. Yeah.
School of
Well, it's a
Four.
pretty big transition if you think about it,
Yeah.
because there were no families. That made that a pretty bad job. And
Hmm.
originally, that was one of the things
Hmm.
Miles dealt with,
Yeah.
and all of them in the last season. So being able to bring your families up because of this radiation shield that they put there
Mhm.
is a pretty big change.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about For All Mankind Next Generation, shall we? Alex wants to go to Earth and Lily wants to stay on
Clearly.
Mars, but
Yeah.
their paths are
Yeah, but Alex
diverging.
can't go to
He
Earth,
he
really.
can't
Yeah,
go, but he would
yeah.
want to go.
If he
Um,
could, he says, "Oh, even if I could, I would want to stay here." And I was like,
yeah,
"Sure."
his
he's the
borderline
line.
sure. Okay, what do you guys think of we can just call them new characters because they're still new
Yeah,
characters, but I
yeah.
guess we can focus on Alex and Lily. What do you guys think?
For
Any
Alex, I have
thoughts?
he's a rebel.
Is he?
I don't think he's a rebel in the sense of he's fighting for anything. No, I just think he's rebellious against the pressure of being Alex
Oh,
Baldwin. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, being Ed's grandson and Kelly's son and the Martian baby. Like,
Mm.
it's just like, it was giving very, yay, legacy, but oh my God, like, guys, free me. Like, oh my God, like, actually free me. So in that sense, that's what I mean. Like, he's a rebel. He's going through things. He's going to do something this season. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to do something. That's,
Yeah. It
who
felt
knows,
like they're
but
passing the torch, and I guess if we compare this to the Stevens brothers, like I like these two better
don't
way,
kill
way
me.
more. It's not even
so
close.
far.
Damn, Danny.
I mean, I would say an angel to your point because of all that Alex is shouldering. I was surprised and impressed and happy about the way they characterized him because I thought they could have easily gone the like flame out, the burnout, like he's all this pressure, he's sneaking out and doing. Obviously, he's doing
Gifted
all those things,
child,
but
ADHD
he's doing it in a
adults
way of like you
pipeline.
expect it. Like, yeah, he's a good kid, at least from what we can see so
Yeah,
far, right?
Mhm.
They could have easily gone the other way where he's just like,
a
where,
brat.
yeah. So I was kind of happy about all of that, and I like the relationship. Again, I don't know what it says about me, but his friend is probably my favorite of the four characters. Or
Says a lot about you.
It
That boy
probably
is an
does. It probably
instigator.
does. But like, look, he says the how it is, but he's also emotional and he's not afraid to hug his friend and tell him he
Hmm?
loves him and wishes him well. But
Yeah.
he's also quite
It was so
perceptive.
cute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he also sees that Alex is lying to himself
Yeah.
about Lily, but also about wanting to go to
Not
Earth.
wanting to go to Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, so I liked him
Does
the
the
most.
does the fact that he is going back to Earth to become an enlisted military service member, does that seems like there might be some kind of foreshadowing there.
You think? I thought it was just like
Hmm.
a random, but like in what way? Foreshadowing what?
Like, I mean,
Earth versus Mars.
if you were going to attack Mars,
You would want
you would want
people to have experience.
you'd want to have people on your battalion who were from there.
Interesting.
That's
something
so
like
true.
that.
That's actually
But it's
so
like how
true.
many if they're graduating 4 every 3 or 4 years, like how many can you actually get
Obviously,
in your
this defense
battalion?
There
batch.
wouldn't be very many. I mean, like that was the entire graduating class that we saw there
Yeah.
because they're like the first. Like Alex is the first child
Yeah.
who grew up on Mars. The rest of them are pretty fast.
Well, I think Lily's older sister graduated from there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
she
Yeah,
might
did,
not
because
be the only
but
one
she
in her
was
class.
she
Lily and her
transplanted. She
sister
was in
were
there
the
from
little
the start.
kids that Miles would do the video calls with last
Exactly.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, this introductions could have done worse. Let's say it like that. I think it sounds like we are all like, okay, we're willing to kind of go along with Lily and Alex especially. So, right, it could have been way worse. So I think for Lily, let's actually talk about Lily this properly. I am intrigued because she clearly has this very clear point of view and she knows what she wants, and what she wants is so, and she sees her father as a hero, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what he did, but like what she wants is so antithetical to what people want for her. So that's kind of interesting. I think that could be an interesting. I would like to see what she wants to do with that. That could be an
Like she
interesting
wants to be a freedom
thing.
fighter like her daddy, but her daddy's like, girl, please just go do your journalism in peace.
Yeah, and she
Or
wants to be on Mars. She kind of
yeah,
gets
choose.
the
She's like, why not try life outside? Like see things. And she's like, no, I love it here. Like these are my people. Love that for her. Like that clear
yeah.
identity. Um, and Alex, I foresee being a duo of troublemaking. Maybe not together, but simultaneously.
But they want such different things. That was
They do.
interesting.
But
Um,
they will always intersect. I feel like even looking at the last couple of seasons, like the way Ed, Miles, all of them came together. Like they did not all want the same things. This one's opportunistic. This one
mhm,
is fighting because he don't want to lose his source of income and that he's providing to his family. And these
yeah.
people are genuinely fighting for their lives. So not that they won't fight for their lives either, but like we see how different ideals tend to have to work together on the show. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if their paths intersect or maybe even diverge further based on the fact that there might be bring romance there too, at least for Alex. Don't know how Lily feels yet.
Well, I mean, look, the options are limited. Look, she
Yeah.
should like everyone just needs to like settle for who is in front of you. Like,
Maybe she's settling for her freedom fighting. So she don't have time
okay.
for that, you know.
um, Pete, any thoughts on?
I was just gonna say they said that she wanted to be a journalist, right?
Yeah,
And also you brought it up a second ago, she sees her dad as a freedom fighter. Does that mean that people don't know that he was the one who gave up ghost comms
The
or
ghost
whatever?
protocol. Mm.
I feel like honestly, I feel like even if they do that again, maybe it will be proven wrong, but maybe they just like we get it, like we understand.
Well,
Because
yeah,
like,
no, I was just trying to figure it out because when I was rewatching the finale of last season, that was one of the things that I realized was that Miles turned them in after they broke him or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
whenever they bring the other prisoner in, he doesn't understand that that's what happened. So I was just sort of wondering if Miles has this secret or not, you know.
it could explain why he says that he doesn't like that they do that, like they show him that kind of recognition.
Mm.
Um,
Well, that's what I'm
Maybe he
and
saying.
feels
He
like he
seems
doesn't
to be a
deserve it.
hero, and I don't think it would necessarily be like that if people knew what actually happened.
maybe I'm being too generous. I'm just like, guys, it was torture, whatever. He did other things. He led the
I feel
riots, but
like
maybe it might come up and be like, yeah, that's a
it
secret that
was
he's
it was
holding.
also an expectation of the ghost protocol thing is that they're going to get caught. It's just about when and can they do what they
Mm.
need to do before it happens. So I think even if they knew that Miles was the one who gave them up, like you said, like maybe it's a bit too generous, but I feel like they'd understand in the sense that
Well, yeah,
okay, well this was after torture, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it is understandable. I just was wondering about that, just because of the
Do
fact
they
that Palmer seems to be in charge of this new
freedom
peacekeeping
market?
force or
Yeah,
whatever, and he would
Um,
know the actual truth of
that's so true.
how that played out.
would he? He was up in space.
Yeah, but I mean, he was on that side. He was
Oh,
on the
that
side
side. Yeah.
of the government. You know what I mean?
Fair.
So
Yeah. I
people
mean, I think
like Danny would know, for instance,
Danny
but
would know for
she's
sure.
Yeah,
not up there anymore.
Yeah, and well, we'll see. I mean, I think there are two ways. Like, it's a good question because I think if they do address it, there's a good dramatic plot point. If they do address it, something that we can just kind of like explain away, right? It's like
yeah.
it makes sense that
It
you
could
can
go
just like
that
let it
way.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he did way more good than he did harm. It's just like how
100%.
he lasted way longer than anybody should be
I
able
was
to
about to say
last.
you take his position. Would you have been able to
Yes.
even do 1 second?
Okay, so Kelly continues to turn up nothing on the Korolev crater, which leads to Aleida and Helios finally reducing her funding. Um, I don't really have anything to say about this. We can talk about it later episodes. Is there anything that you guys want to say here?
She will find something.
Yeah. I haven't really been. I haven't really cared about Kelly since season 3. So hopefully that changes.
She has to find something at this
Yeah.
point.
No, yeah,
Like,
I think she will. I think like that's her role in this
pass.
story. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she has to find something. I mean, 10 years of not finding anything is kind of crazy, but like
It's Mars. We don't know what
she's
she's
stronger.
doing. They
She's
could just
stronger
be every
than
time she
me.
gets close, they probably just shimmy away.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and they leaned pretty heavily into sending probes to the moons, and that being the next natural step of um exploration of the solar system. So I feel like, yeah, that's something that's going to happen this season. I expect that she'll actually find something on Mars, just because Mars is
Mhm.
going to continue to be. I mean, they're setting up a split between Earth and Mars, right? That's what it feels like. So Mars has to have something more than just the connection to Goldilocks, I think. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I expect that we're going to be visiting one of these moons or something. I mean, yeah, I guess actually they'll probably actually go there, huh? Not just these probes or whatever.
yeah. Maybe we do need a change of location. So the Mars Day ones, as we mentioned, who were also people who were involved in the protest last season and everything, they've kind of tried to organize and they've created a group called the Sons and Daughters of Mars,
Mm-hmm.
SDM. They aren't really achieving much. Uh, they definitely have a difference in approach. Miles, who is traumatized from the things that happened last season, wants to kind of go the more bureaucratic approach. Ed being Ed, I, not in this scene, but mostly in the next scene, I kind of usually forget that Ed was born in the 1920s, 1930s. Like you forget that this is an old man and he has like
Oh
Old
yeah.
old man ideas
man.
and ideals.
Very old
Um,
man.
yeah, I mean, yeah, so they're not really achieving much. So people want to kind of be more, but I think it seems like the main thing they want is to have somebody from their group part of the M6 or the M7.
Yeah.
They want to have like a voice in, I guess, how the iridium is used and things like that.
And how it's shared, because why are you all, getting all these benefits back there on Earth? What about us Martians?
Yeah.
Martian Earthers, you know?
Speaking of benefits, actually, that's something in those little videos. It explains that like there were some financial benefits to all of
Okay,
this,
good.
but it was only really for the
The big guys.
M6 countries, yes,
Yeah.
which then led to the
The
other
ISF.
countries. But even before that, even before the ISN, the other big countries on the part of the M7 started like having to take out loans from big banks to kind of like buy the iridium. And then, and Pete, let me know if I'm missing anything here. And then they started defaulting on those loans, which then led to a stock market crash. So I think right now, I don't know if they're in, I don't know if it's a depression, but like right now, the economics is not great in the world.
Yeah,
Is that correct, Ed?
I was trying to
Pete?
straighten this out with the timeline too, because obviously Bragg came in 2004
Uh-huh.
on the back of Al Gore losing losing Goldilocks, and that was the thing. And there was financial backlash, there was financial backlash, or there was backlash in the financial markets after that happened. And then you see that it's all because it's still at Mars instead of in Earth orbit, that this is taking longer. Like the iridium starts to come in right away, but it's not coming in fast enough. It's costing more to mine it. So there's still problems there, but he's reelected in 2008 at a smaller margin. And then he's using everything that's going wrong, he's blaming it on Mars. They sort of
Uh-huh.
switched it around to like an immigration problem or whatever, um, where you start to blame it, everybody else except for the people that are
Wow.
actually
Yeah.
causing the
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
problems. It's like, oh, well, yeah, of course things are tough here now, but it's because of those people on Mars don't care about the rule of law or working an honest day's work or whatever, that's going on. So I thought that was interesting. Like, how they tried to kind of make that reflect like sort of how we would react in that situation. But the main thing, I guess, it seems like, yeah, it did reorient the way that there is a lot more money, but it didn't actually solve any problems as far as you can tell. It created a bunch of different ones.
Yeah. I actually let's just go. Any other thoughts on this SDM meeting? No? Well, like, yeah. Not Kelly, sorry. Lily did get a bit of unintended support from Ed by Ed saying that the person that was doing the graffiti was actually trying to do something, which Ed Baldwin is maybe not the person you want to get support from, but she doesn't know that yet. So yeah, I just checked that Ed Baldwin was born in 1931. So he's really
he's
he's not
82.
he's not as old as I thought, actually.
He's
Yeah, I
moving
actually
very
would've-
old.
I would have thought
Yeah.
that it might have been a little bit older. 82 is 82.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I thought he was like already in his 80s the last season.
Yeah.
And then, but Margo is 10 years younger, so she was 41. Okay, so the first one on Mars is having marriage issues. Just insert your sexist stand-up comedy joke here. It's like you can create 1,000 bits about it. Speaking of sexist, Lee Jung-il, the first man on Mars, confides in our paragon of feminism, Ed Baldwin.
They've had
essentially,
issues with the wife.
Yes, he didn't like his wife working, and he didn't like her work husband. And we can put a pin in that. But it was actually in this scene, I was like, oh yeah, Ed is, because when Ed says like, oh, they don't like that, or he's like, she's a modern woman, I was like, oh yeah, you're born in 1930s. Like, you're
Yeah.
not, like, it's kind of like if Don Draper was still alive. That's actually exactly what it is. It's just like, what would Don Draper think about like 2026 women or 2012 women? It's just like,
You have a heart attack.
it would. Okay, so while Joe riding, Alex comes across a dead body, which is quickly declared a suicide. However, thanks to Muriel Enos's new character,
Shout out
Boyd,
Boyd.
which we can discuss now if we want. Some quick investigation confirms that it was a homicide before further investigation finds Lee's DNA under his fingernails. Let's talk about Boyd
Conveniently.
first, and then we'll talk about the end of the episode. What Pete, you mentioned that you were getting gosh, what's her name?
Tracy.
Tracy Stevens
Yeah.
vibes from her? In what way?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought there was some I mean, she was flying the little hopper. She was doing a lot of the same things. Like, it just thought that her demeanor kind of was similar to what Tracy was like whenever she went up to the moon for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I say about her, she's competent, that's for sure.
Yeah, she seems to be like pretty a pretty sober outlook on things, and pretty by the capable of doing what she's supposed to do or whatever.
Yeah, and again, credit to the show. It's not the characterization I expected. Like, if you show just a character still and maybe description, I would have thought something different. Like, I thought something maybe less personable or more prickly.
Yeah,
or
you're thinking more like justice of the peace.
Or even just more like, oh, I'm a woman in a man's world, I'm about to fight. But like, she seems to get along with the people. She's joking when Ilya is trying to bribe her. She's also competent, and like, we can tell that she's...
Her opinions are also important.
Yes, but she also has to fight to get those opinions out.
Yeah,
we can tell that she's not, that she has a free ride. Like, there are points when people are condescending towards her. So I don't know, I like the characterization. I think we do kind of get everything that we need to get from this character in a way that is like, again, credit to the show, a different packaging from what we would have expected the show to kind of do with her. But is, again, what we don't know, what's her role? Is she just going to be like the top investigator of this murder mystery, or is there more to do?
I mean, because
again,
this murder mystery is important, and
I mean, it's the
her
first man on Mars.
identifying the murder is also very important here.
What is that pronunciation?
I feel the need to put on my detective hat here.
Okay.
Once the murder
Is that a Mare Sheehan? Is that Mare of his style? Is that a Philly pronunciation?
The murder.
Okay, so by the rule of murder mysteries, the first person that is arrested is not the person, right? It's not the culprit.
And you look at the shot on
Especially
his
if it's the
face.
first person that set foot on Mars. Like there was
Like
just
how convenient.
yeah. That was the one thing I was gonna say about this episode was like you knew like there was never like for sure that he didn't kill this guy. Like that's
Yeah.
100% not the case.
I was actually surprised. I thought they were gonna walk up to Ed's room at first.
Ed, like if Ed killed if they arrested Ed,
and if it would have been Ed, then you would have been like, he might have done that. That's crazy.
You'd have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so did you guys? I mean, how did you guys interpret when Lee was explaining the story about his wife? And because we're all agreed that that's the work husband, right? The one who was found dead is the person he's telling the story about.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Let's get into this for a second because we talked about this a little bit. The craters, right? The people that are being smuggled, and this is another one of those things that they're like he was a guy who came on the crate with Lee's wife.
So no, but I feel like Lee says he came like 2 years ago.
Because didn't Lee's wife, wasn't she a special exception at that point?
Because
so
wait,
okay,
maybe I'm mixing that up a little bit. Maybe she came, but they were friends on Earth first.
Like on Earth, I think that's what he was saying. Yeah, that they were friends. Back there.
Oh, okay. So I read that differently. I read that he was from Pyongyang, I think it's pronunciation, but like they became friends on Mars at work.
No, it seemed like they had some kind of connection before.
Relationship on Earth, and then now, they just continued.
Yeah. Just a quick question, and Peter, I'll come back to you once we answer this. We agreed that like Lee's wife came like in 2004, right? That scene last season was not like in 2010 or something. Like she came very quickly after.
Because he had to smuggle Lee's wife. Yeah, like she was already there. Yeah.
So, and then this new person came years later. Because I mean, I'll go back and watch the scene, but I feel like that's what he said. I feel like he said it was like he had come to Mars 2 or 3 years ago.
One of the craters.
I don't know. I'll go back and check it. Anyway, and then he tried to like apply for assistance, and that's how they got the picture. But sorry, Pete, you had questions you're gonna ask.
I was just saying this whole subplot of people, sneaking up onto Mars to live there. Like, how does that feel now? I mean, obviously, like whenever she showed up and his wife showed up, it was a bit of a stretch. But is it believable now?
I mean, yeah. I think now that families can live on Mars, like there's actually a pathway to bring people to Mars now. It's definitely a lot more believable that people still can't afford it and will need to
stow away.
Find their way there.
I think on one hand, I've just made a peace with it, whatever. Like if you're going to come into
like how it happens, the magic, who cares?
But also on the other hand, I think it is a very logical conclusion that like if it gets to a place where Mars is inhabitable and there are constant trips to Mars, then people will stow away the same way people have stowed away on boats, stowed away on planes, stowed away on trains. Like we've always done this throughout history, right? So they will always find a way to kind of do it because people are always looking for better living accommodations and living styles. So it does make sense, as in the actual mechanics of it happening. I don't know, but like in terms of a concept and an idea, it definitely makes sense for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people go across oceans in container ships and things like that. Like, so it just, to me, like the idea of people going into space, like
hanging off the edge of a rocket or in the back
a capsule,
of a container.
Like, and I mean, there's all people do all sorts of things because they're desperate. Like that part does actually make sense, but like the logistics of it seems a bit extreme.
I think that was the main thing with last season and this plotline last season was like they just kept on saying it at random points in the season. We're laughing as a joke. And then it just happened.
We're like, imagine if. Like, how are they going to do that?
We never got the Vince Gilligan thing of like seeing the process of seeing. We never actually understood how it was happening. That's why to us, it's just like, wait, what What are you
No,
doing?
because it also like it can be a short journey.
Yeah.
Like how did she survive this operation? Somebody must have been taking care of her on the ship. Like I mean, on the one hand, it's fine that they actually didn't get into it. Like I don't need to see all that, but I would also like to know. Like,
Yeah, even if it's a
I don't want
cold
them to show
open.
me and I'll be like question mark,
Yeah, even if it's a cold
you
open of
know?
just like seeing some of the steps. But I think
You know.
now that it's expanded, we just know, okay, we've made a piece that like it's a thing that's happening, and it's like it's not just 1 or 10 people, it's generally like dozens, hundreds of people doing it, and
Yeah.
like they're all living underground apparently on Mars. Um it is one of those depressing things where you're like, oh gosh, so you're telling me even on this Mars show, we've carried some of our Earth problems and we're doing them again? Like it's
Where
just
they're
like,
Yeah.
humans, there are
yeah,
problems.
yeah, I guess.
The other thing that I was thinking about a lot when I was watching this was, what is this show? Like we kind of talked about this a little bit last week. What is this show? It's how the world would change if the space race continued.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I wonder, like, if we're in that period where we're in the. I believe that they are making at least one more season, right? Like that's already the wheels
Has it
are
been
already in
confirmed?
motion. I
I
don't
don't
know if
know,
it's
but
been
like
confirmed, but I would think that with the
I
amount
would
of
think
gap,
so. Yeah,
it would already
yeah,
be in production, especially considering Star City is coming out
yeah.
right
You don't
after
order a
this.
spin-off if you're gonna cancel the
Yeah.
original
So
show. Yeah.
It's
they're not gonna.
actively in pre-production.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that like this might be this might be the dark chapter before the end of like whatever the uplifting end of the series turns out to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's really there's really not that like all of this stuff that we're talking about here, there's not a lot of innovation in the good direction here. I mean,
Hmm.
Jay-Z and John Lennon, you know what I mean? Like that's
It's probably a
cool.
very good album. Yeah.
That probably would have been a great project, you know what I mean? But like if you think about it, like, like I said, there's a lot of it is the same stuff, just in a different location. People are angry at at immigrants, but at the same time, they're facilitating the situation where that's like a necessary part of the process. That there's people that will fill those gaps. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. It's just to me, like when I was watching it, I was thinking this is not very the world hasn't really changed all that much for the better.
Yeah.
You know
Um.
what? That's so
Yeah.
fair.
Hmm.
I think also when you put in that light, I think our expectation of space shit is also worth considering, because this isn't just an alternate universe of, oh, what happens if, we made it to Neptune. No. This is if Russia landed first, and like see the way things played out as America landed first. We're currently living in that reality. So I
Hmm.
think, expecting constant space shit just because Russia got there first and America hates being left behind and then other countries, follow suit is also kind of unfair. I will take that on as management and align my expectations that way, because really we are just talking about humanity in a different,
Yeah. Humanity is
like
still
in
humanity.
a
Yeah,
parallel term
that's a
line. Like
good point.
humanity is still humanity. So fam.
I I yeah, I like that point. I also like Pete's point about Dark Chapter, and I think that's probably how I'm going to go into the next few episodes now, thinking about it. Because again, somebody, if maybe I'll go back and watch them, and someone else can comment in the comment section. But I was struck by even the montage, or the alternate history montage, right? The first thing we hear is like this kind of dark musical note. And in my memory, every one of those montages is usually more hopeful and a more like kind of for all mankind optimistic score, right? But this one was very kind of sad and depressing and showing people going to jail and people dying. So that was something that struck me immediately. I even watched it. I'll go back and watch like the season 2 and season 3 ones.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it could be that this is a dark chapter of the show, of not the show necessarily, but like
of humanity. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
humanity
just
on
sort
Earth.
of the transition of humanity into something, to a different
And they haven't even
phase.
got 2016 yet.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
Like right
like,
now they're in the 2010s. Like they're
they
probably
haven't even
going to
got
wrap
to
up the
Donald Trump
2010s
winning
this year.
presidency. So,
So
like, how dark can it get?
2020s, next season is actually going to be super dark. Like if I talk about dark chapters, we're living in dark times right now.
Yeah.
So next
Yeah.
season they're going to be dealing with climate change, travel, whatever that looks like with all this space
No, but
innovation.
I mean, it looks like climate change has been not solved, but like
Yeah,
definitely
but like the
helped
fact
along.
that
Hurricane
Hurricane
Katrina,
didn't
for
happen.
sure.
But I just can't imagine like with all this space travel, there's not some adverse effects in
That's
some
true.
way. Like
That's true.
maybe it's not hurricanes. Maybe the Earth is just going to start disintegrating. Who knows?
Locusts.
We have AI to contend with coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the jump ahead last time they had one of those sequences where they flipped. It was like a famous person giving an address about climate to the U.S. government, and they switched it around to show that, like, to say that instead of saying like, this impending doom was coming if we didn't do something about it, they switched it around so he was saying that the trajectory
better.
had changed, like the
Okay.
climate change was no longer the
A
threat.
threat.
Yeah.
I think I remember that. Yeah, and I
Yeah, I need
think
to
it
go
also
rewatch
kind
all
of
of those.
yeah, because though I mentioned obviously Al Gore is a big climate change in real life
Yeah.
advocate, and that hasn't been
Yeah.
mentioned on the show. So I guess it would have come up if he was still fighting for climate
Yeah,
change.
if it was on that platform, he would have run on that. Yeah.
We can wrap up now, but like something that catches me every time, I still don't know how they do it. I know it's not AI, obviously. It's just kind of how they always match the historical press conferences
Mm.
to like the new things they're saying. Like I'm looking at Al Gore's mouth and he's mouthing
Yeah.
those words.
No,
It
literally.
gets me
I'm like, did
every
they
time.
get him for a spot
I was
or?
like, I don't know how they do it. Like obviously it's one thing to do and be an Al Gore impersonator, but like the way they match I don't know how they do it. I just always kind of, as someone that knows just about filmmaking, that still kind of stumps me. I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know if it's visual design. I don't know if it's CG. I just don't really know what's happening yet.
So what
but yeah.
magic are you employing right now?
Yeah.
It is kind of magical. It's true.
Yes. It gets me from season 1 with Nick, and then with Nixon, it just always gets me. Okay. Any final thing before we wrap up? I think we've kind of gone through it. We
No.
will be back next week for episode 2 with a different guest. And then probably back 2 weeks after that. And then Pete has an open invitation. So whenever he wants to come back, he's more than welcome to. But also check out his podcast where he'll be covering the show at least weekly at the start. And then depending on how things go, he might also switch to a fortnightly coverage structure. Thank you very much for everyone who's listening, for everyone who's watching For All Mankind. It's still a show that I really do recommend people watch, because it's a really good show, actually. Yeah, okay. Anything about anything, guys? We good?
We out.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thank you very much for listening, guys. And remember, if you see a dead body, don't look. Don't look. Join us next week with Dino Kalia. Bye, guys.
Bye.